Hello and welcome back. In this video, we'll be learning technically the last part of annotation, because after this video, we'll be going towards directly into printing and plotting. So you can say the remaining videos will be the last or final videos in which we'll be learning printing and plotting. But in this video, we are going to learn only about annotations. We have already learned how to create text, we learned how to create tables, we learned how to create dimensions as well. Now in this particular video, we'll be learning how to create leaders, or technically in this particular software it is known as multi-leaders. Okay, so here in multi-leader I'm going to show you a couple of commands. I'm not going to show you in detail about multi-leader, but yes, what is very much required and what is sufficient, that is what I'm going to show you. So for multi-leader, the command is MLT, and again with multi-leader, like with dimension we have style, so again with multi-leader also we have style. So that is known as multi-leader style, and the command for that is MLS. Okay, so multi-leader, the command is MLD, and for multi-leader style the command is MLS. So let's start with MLD first. So if I type MLD, it is asking me specify the arrowhead location. So here if I zoom in, it is asking me to specify the arrowhead location. So here I can define, let's say this is the position where I need my arrowhead to be located. Okay, so I'll just zoom in so that I can see the arrow. Now as I can see, an arrow is coming, and along with that a line is coming. Okay, so technically this is known as a leader. Then what I can do is I can just simply click here to specify the location of my leader, and then I can type whatever I want to. For example, let's say this is whole of diameter. For diameter we can write percentage %C, okay, 20. Okay, so this is how I can type certain information if I want to, and then I can click OK. So this is how I can create multi-leader. Okay, and this will be very important or very useful in order to write specific information to a specific area. Now we can also control how big or how small the multi-leader should be. For example, if I type MLD, let's say I'll create a circle here, a circle of literally diameter 20. So I'm creating a circle of diameter 20 and it is too big, right? So if I create a multi-leader, again MLD, and then if I write something over here, let's say circle, so we can notice one thing, that with respect to my object, my multi-leader size is very small. Okay, with respect to my object, my multi-leader size is very small because this is the default size of multi-leader. Not only that, one great part about multi-leader is if you move the circle, you can see the arrow of that multi-leader is attached to the circle and it is moving automatically. Same thing will happen even if you change the size of the circle. So whenever you create a multi-leader, it is an associative object. So that means if you change the object itself, it will automatically get updated, the location as well as the position of the arrow. Now the main concerning part here is how to make the multi-leader look bigger, or at least it should look like a dimension. For example, here if I go for a diameter dimension, you can see how big the diameter dimension is as compared to the leader itself. So I want to make my multi-leader to look bigger. For doing that, what I can do is I can go to MLS, that is multi-leader style. Okay, like the way we have dimension style, we also have multi-leader style. Either I can modify the standard multi-leader style, or I can create a new multi-leader style. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click on new to create a new style, and I can give it a name, whatever name I want to. For example, here I'm giving the name of CAD Cube 360. Then I can decide, here we can see a small preview of the leader itself. Okay, so how I want my leader? I want my leader to be straight, okay, or I want my leader to be in a form of spline. I can do that. Okay, I can also change the color of my leader. Okay, and I can also change the line type and the line weight, which we have already learned in the previous video. We can also change the type of the symbol, the type of the arrow we need. Okay, we can also change the arrow size. So I would recommend to keep the arrow size initially to 2. Okay, I would initially recommend to keep the arrow size to 2. It might happen from the preview the arrow will go out, so don't worry about it. Now I can directly jump to content. In structure we cannot control much, so I'll directly jump into content. And here what I want as a content, I want mtext as a content, and here the text height, which is going to be very important for us. Let's say I'm going to keep the text height also as 2. That is same as the arrow size. And here I want it should be always in the middle of the text. The attachment should be always in the middle of the text. And then one more thing I need to control is the size of the landing, that is the horizontal line. So the horizontal line which is coming will have a size of, let's say, 4. So that is double of the text height. Okay, So this three things is normally what we control: the size of the arrow, the size of the landing, and the size of the content. Along with that, if you want, you can control the connection of the content. Okay, now if I start typing, if I click OK, if I set this as my current style, and if I click on close, now if I go for MLD, and if I create a multi-leader from here, you can see the multi-leader is comparatively now bigger, okay, and better, and it looks much more appropriate for the size of my circle. Now if I start typing anything, for example CAD, then enter, you enter 360, and then if I click OK, it will automatically attach to the middle, okay, in the center. Now if you want some gap here, like there is a gap but it is not visible, if you want there should be a visible gap between the connection and the text, you can go to multi-leader style, click on modify. You don't have to create a new one again. In the leader structure or in the content, you can see there is a gap, landing gap, and here if I specify the landing gap of 1, so what will happen is automatically there will be a landing gap of 1. There will be a good gap. Okay, and don't worry, if your particular leader is using a particular style, it will get automatically updated as soon as you create a new multi-leader. Okay, so this is how you can create and use multi-leader. Hope you got the proper understanding. For today's videos, there is no practice diagram as such. What you can do is you can even annotate the diagrams which are previously created using multi-leader itself. One example I'll give you is what you can try. This is something which I'm not going to show you separately. So in the practice diagram folder or in the practice diagram, so here you can see there are 12 holes of diameter 14. This is something which you can type using multi-leader itself. Okay, you don't need to create a dimension for it. So this is one of the example as seen. Okay, otherwise if you want to give any annotation, any notes onto the object, that time also you can use multi-leader. So I hope you got the idea about how to use multi-leader, and meet you in the next lecture, because that will be more important. That will be related to printing and plotting. Thank you very much.